Me and my beanie. Okay, something I want to start doing a little bit is remaking some of my old videos because a lot of my older videos are like really awkward. When I first started this channel, I feel like I had a lot of good ideas for videos, but my execution was really poor because I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera yet. But this is one I've been wanting to remake for a while. So this is going to be a combination of two videos. I had two different ones. One said like, don't compare yourself to Instagram models, and the other one was like, y'all need to stop photoshopping your waists. Both good ideas for videos, but really poor execution. I had to watch these back on like 1.5 speed because I was just talking so slowly and awkwardly. Bad videos, badly edited, poor speech patterns. All right. Doesn't matter because I'm gonna remake them and I'm gonna kind of combine both of those video ideas into one single video, and I'm gonna talk for a little bit. I have some notes, so hopefully this isn't just a big old ramble like those other videos were. Also, if you're confused by me like constantly being in different locations these days in my videos, I'm like trying to still discover the best place in my house to film because I feel like the location that is like my go-to location is kind of like actually ugly. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, you guys don't care. I guess I want to start off by saying like everybody kind of knows this, like this has been talked about a lot, and I'm not about to say anything new, so if you're really like knowledgeable on this topic, you may not really need to watch this unless you just want to see my face and hear me like ramble about stuff. I guess like this video is kind of sparked by the whole idea that, so when we watch TV or movies, we kind of all know not to compare ourselves to the people that we see on the screen, like looks wise and stuff. Like we don't really think like, why don't I just look like that person on screen when I'm just walking around my house, when I just like woke up in the morning? Why don't I just look like that? We don't really think that. We kind of know that like professional actors have like makeup artists, wardrobe stylists, personal trainers, you know, like all this stuff to make sure they look absolutely perfect because they're on screen, like they have to look perfect. We're just like in our houses. Do we have to look perfect? Not really. But these days with Instagram, things are kind of changing because anybody can post on Instagram. I can post on Instagram. You can post on Instagram. Your weird uncle can post on Instagram. And so because of that, the dynamic is kind of different. You see someone's picture on Instagram and you think, why doesn't my picture look like that? But I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't. And like why you don't need to compare yourself to any picture that you see on the gram. So first things first, everybody who posts on Instagram probably knows this, but when you're trying to take that good Instagram picture, you normally take like 57 pictures and like 56 of them go in the trash bin, and then you have like your one that you post that was the best. So it's not like someone just randomly snapped a picture of you and it was just absolutely stunning. I mean, that can happen sometimes, but it's luck. Usually if you want that perfect picture, everybody takes like a million to get the perfect one, you know? So yeah, there's the fact that people post only their best pictures. Then there's angles and lighting. People's faces and bodies can look drastically different in different angles and lighting. Like if you know your angles, if you know how to pose, and if you are in flattering light, the difference is astronomical. Like, let me give you an example. My boyfriend and I went on a little road trip to this really pretty lake recently, and I made him take a few pictures of me there, and I posted one of them on my Instagram. Okay, so this is the one I posted. I'll put it on screen somewhere. It was the only good one where I thought I looked good in it. That's the one I chose because I looked the best in it. I somehow figured out that when I pose a certain way, like when I'm stretching my arms up, my body just kind of makes a flattering shape. These are some of the outtakes that I didn't post. In this outtake, you can see that I obviously have a couple imperfections. I have like, when I'm twisting my body a certain way, I do have like rolls of fat here, and as you can see on my leg, I have cellulite and I have scars that are very prominent. And these aren't things that I try to hide by any means. Like if you go back and scroll on my Instagram feed, you will find pictures of me like still having a few rolls of fat if I'm like twisted into a position, or like am not shy about showing the scars that I have. I don't smooth out cellulite or anything like that, but I simply like, this isn't the best picture of me, let's be real, so like I didn't post it. The other one was way better. And then there's this one where I wasn't posed for it, like my boyfriend was just snapping pictures randomly just to like, I don't know. I wasn't like ready for this one, and so I wasn't posed. I wasn't like, you know, doing a flattering pose, like sucking in. And I was also wearing a bikini bottom that was like way too small for me because I think it makes my butt look good or something, but it's not really flattering. Like it kind of makes my like tummy look a little bigger. Anyways, this is the picture, just like a candid. My hand is kind of blocking. I think you can tell what I mean. Like I think you can see the difference, like that I don't really have a flat stomach from that angle and that's normal. Tana Mojo had like a scandal, I guess, where someone compared like her Facetuned Instagram pictures to a candid picture of her where it just like didn't look that flattering. I mean, besides the whole Photoshop thing, if you forget about that for a second, just think about like angles. Like, yeah, sometimes people don't look super perfect and great from every single angle. That's like pretty normal. I don't think she needs to be like roasted over that. I don't know. So this is something I talked about in one of my original videos. An important point is that like a lot of these pictures are professional pictures that you see on your Instagram feed. Like even if it's someone at like a supermarket or like out in public or like something and it looks like a casual picture that their friend just snapped of them and then they uploaded, like hee hee. A lot of the times that's a professional picture with like a professional photographer, like lighting, professional makeup, all of that. It's kind of weird because sometimes you see something and you don't really think of that. You're just like, oh, maybe they were just out and about and someone took that picture. But like, no, there's like a lot of work that goes into that, like behind the scenes that you don't see. Of course, that's not the case for every picture. That's kind of just something I picked up being in the modeling world a little bit. Yeah, that's not every picture. It's true for some though. Yeah, you guys, honestly, like when I was in high school, the main like social media I used was Tumblr, and Instagram was only in the very beginning stages of starting to pop off. My last year of high school when I was graduating, I think I graduated in 2013 if I'm remembering correctly. Instagram was at its like very, very early years. People were posting pictures of their coffee, of like food. It wasn't what it is today, like by any means. So basically, like when I was a teenager, my main problem with this type of thing was Tumblr. Like I would see these pictures on Tumblr of like really pretty girls with like perfect bodies, and I would feel shitty about myself because it didn't really occur to me that like there's so much, putting Photoshop aside, because we're gonna talk about that whole thing in a second, but there's so much work that can go into a picture behind the scenes, like you have no idea. Something I just learned being in the modeling world a little bit. I don't really model much anymore, but when I dabbled in that, like that's something I picked up on. So yeah, I guess my main like purpose for making these types of videos is because when I was a teenager, like a video like this would have really, really helped me. And it seems like things these days are even worse with Instagram and Instagram influencers and models and whatever. I feel like it's amplified times like a million. I literally can't imagine like living as a teenager in this day and age. So I just want to like try to help in like the little tiny way that I could help with my small following. So when I was doing research on this topic a little bit, I found this YouTuber called Stephanie. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, so I'm not gonna try, so I'm sorry. She, if you honestly, like if you are interested in this topic, you should check her out. Maybe I'll link her stuff below. She has like really in-depth videos talking about this stuff, probably better than I'm doing it. Something I always say, I've said this before on this channel in multiple like random videos, just because like I don't want people to forget this. Really extra, really overdone makeup looks really good on camera and looks not that good in real life. There's a huge, huge difference between how you look on camera and how you look in real life, especially when you have like a million lights on you. Your face has to be like cake. Like it has to be, I can cut a slice out of it and eat it. I'll try to link the video down below or like put it on screen if I remember, because I like to credit people, but this girl Stephanie is showing how she looks in front of the camera versus how she looks if she just goes and walks outside. And the difference is so huge, you guys. Like in front of the camera, her makeup it just looks good, like it looks perfect. She has a million lights on her. It almost looks like not that heavy. It doesn't exactly look like natural makeup, but it still looks like not very heavy, you know what I mean? It just looks nice. And then she walks outside and it looks so heavy, like the makeup. It looks like she has so much makeup on, because she does, because that's what you look like in real life when you cake on makeup. There's a huge difference. I feel like that's a whole nother problem with like these makeup gurus and like how they're showing you to put on makeup because like there's only like a few makeup channels that I watch. I'm not really in that world at all, so I don't know too much about this, so I'm not going to speak on it for too long, but I feel like the makeup that you wear in your day-to-day life should not be like the same whatever. Let's now talk about Photoshop and Facetune. When I made the video, y'all need to stop photoshopping your waists. The main motivating thing that drove me to make such a video was actually one specific girl on Instagram that I used to follow. I think I've unfollowed her since because it just made me too angry. She was like this rave girl. Rave girls are so hot. Let's be real. Like, even if they have absolute trash taste in music, they're just so hot, like their outfits. Imagine you pull up to the rave and your whole squad looks like this. A dream world, literally a dream world. So that's why I was following her, because like she's hot, her outfits are cool, whatever. It became very, very apparent to me at a certain point that this girl was photoshopping herself and making her waist really, really tiny and her like hips and butt really big, to a point where it was like kind of ridiculous. It makes me significantly less mad when an influencer or person with a big following, whatever you want to call it, admits that they Facetune or whatever. Like Tana Mongeau Facetuning doesn't bother me because she like constantly jokes about it, or at least she used to. I've unfollowed Tana like everywhere a couple years ago or something, so I like don't know what she's up to these days, but she used to joke about it a lot, be like, yeah, because I Facetune. And for some reason, I don't really mind it because of that, because I can still like see a picture of her and like appreciate the picture for what it is without like comparing myself to the body in that picture, because I do know that it's edited, and yet I can still look at it and appreciate it, if that makes any sense. But this girl, the rave girl, would just absolutely like deny it in the comments if someone said anything about her body. My real body, like you wish. And her comments were just full of like thirsty guys being like, wow, dream girl, holy shit. And she would just be like, yeah, like it's my real body. It would like very clearly photoshopped, and it just made me angry because she was lying about it, which is so incredibly obvious. And I was kind of mad that like it wasn't obvious to everyone. Literally everyone who views that should know that it's like photoshopped, and I want everyone to know, because it's kind of harmful like to young girls who like think that they need to look like that. It can also be harmful when like guys don't really understand that that's fake, and then they start expecting girls to look like that when like it's just not realistic. It can also be harmful to the self, to the person who's posting it, because they start to like have this warped perception of their body when they're seeing something different in the mirror than they're seeing in their pictures. So it can be harmful in a number of ways. I just think people need to calm down with the Facetune. It's kind of, I do believe it's okay to edit your pictures to a certain degree. There's kind of like a line that you shouldn't cross, and it's kind of hard to determine where that line is sometimes. But me, for example, I've never downloaded Facetune or Photoshop or anything. I've never changed the shape of my body for my pictures or the shape of my face or anything, but I do have like basic editing tools. I will go in and like blur out a pimple or something, just because I want the picture to look nicer, you know, like stuff like that. Especially when I was modeling, I definitely wanted my pictures to look good because I wanted, you know, people to want to work with me. I don't know, I think there is like a line that you shouldn't cross eventually when you're constantly like every single picture is this like super edited body. It's problematic. Don't compare yourself to those people because they're not real. Like that's the moral of this whole video, is like don't compare yourself to people on Instagram, because so many of them edit, so many of them know their angles and their lighting and the makeup they need to wear on camera. It should be closer to like the relationship you have with like those that you see on like the big screen. You should kind of realize that there's a huge separation, and that like if you were put in a situation with like the perfect lighting and makeup and angles and professional photo camera and all this stuff, you could have a picture like that too. It's not that you're ugly or something, like, I don't know. Especially to if I have younger viewers out there, like, I don't want people to grow up as insecure as I did, okay? I had a lot of issues back then, and I look back at pictures of myself from high school and I'm like, wow, I looked good, like, I looked fine. But back then I hated myself in every way, and I didn't need to. Like, it just kind of sucks. I think I said everything I needed to say. I hope so. I hope that I'm gonna be remaking more of my old videos because, again, like, good ideas, terrible execution. I'm more comfortable in front of the camera now, and I want to explore some of those ideas a little bit more. And yeah, I hope you guys liked watching my old videos. I realized, like, I don't tell people to subscribe anymore, even though I used to. I don't know why, I just, like, stopped doing that. Subscribe if it's your first time here. We can hang out through the screen. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tell me your opinion on this in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.